Hi everyone. Today I will be talking about London, England for my 5 themes of geography. So some interesting facts about London. It was originally settled in 6000 BC. It's likely named from the Celtic word Londinius, which means to be bold. It was settled by the Romans in 43 AD, and that caused Celtic Queen Boudica to burn the city to the ground in 60 AD. The Black Death Plague in 1665 to 66 killed between 68,000 and 100,000 people, which was almost half of the population. It also has over 170 museums inside the city. Location and climate. The absolute location of London is latitude 51.30 north, longitude is 0.7 west. Unique features of London, it's divided into several sections. The north is historical, south is residential, east is mainly shipping and manufacturing, and the affluent upper class is in the west. When you're standing at London's absolute location, you would see a city mixed with tons of historical and modern buildings. The impressive River Thames and many of the historic buildings, the Tower of London, Westminster Abbey, Buckingham Palace, the National Museum, a lot of parks and green spaces within the city, and the London Eye, which you can see here, gives you a great view. London's relative location, it is in the southeast central region of England in the British Isles. You can see it down here. It is 3,627 miles northeast of Dover, 209 miles northwest of Paris, and 770 miles northeast of Madrid. It's a pretty temperate climate, as you can see here from the chart. The high temperatures, usually low 70s, and doesn't get really much below freezing in the winter. And it is a bit of a rainy place to live, as you can see here with the chart with the amount of days with rain. And the rainfall amounts, anywhere from 1 to 3 inches, depending on the month. And the theme of movement, transportation, it's a major metropolitan city, so it has a lot of types of transportation. The famous double-decker buses, the red buses you can see here. The tube, which is the subway system, light railway systems, river buses, trams, taxis. London is also home to 6 major airports, including Heathrow and Gatwick. For goods and services, London is the capital of both England and the UK, so it's a very important city. It acts as a financial center of Europe and its leader in innovation. Approximately $169 billion worth of goods and services are exported from London every year. The majority of this is for services at 129.3 billion, and 36.6 billion is for financial services specifically. The European Union is London's largest trading partner. Other trade partners are the United States, Switzerland, the Netherlands, and Ireland. And they export approximately 40 billion in goods that includes toys, clothing, games, artworks, and their famous antiques. For people, it has the largest number of immigrants in the UK. They had 3.2 million aliens in 2018, and that's 38% of the population of the city. People move from London all over the world because of the fact that it's a large economic hub with lots of different jobs and cultures there. They also draw a lot of people for their excellent colleges and people seeking asylum. Approximately 30 million international tourists visit London each year, and that makes it the second most visited city behind Paris. And for region, England itself is part of the United Kingdom. It takes up more than half of the island of Great Britain. It's surrounded by the North Sea, the Atlantic Ocean, the Irish Sea, and the English Channel. It shares an island and is bordered with Scotland and Wales. The local geography of London, it's located in the southeastern England. It covers 610 square miles, and the River Thames runs through London and splits it in half, as you can see from the picture here. The city is mostly flat, but it does have a few rolling hills, and it was built on the floodplain of the River Thames. London is a very green city. It has 8 large royal parks. 65% of London is public green spaces, gardens, or water, which makes it pretty unique for a major city. And the theme of place. Some things that make London unique. The human characteristics. London has a large mix of both historical landmarks and modern buildings. So you can see here you've got a tower that's almost 1,000 years old, surrounded by modern skyscrapers and apartment buildings. And the two most famous topographical features of London are the ancient Epping Forest, as you can see here, and the River Thames. For 2,000 years, London has been a melting pot of different cultures. The Celts, Romans, Germanic, Anglo-Saxon tribes, the Vikings were there, the Romans. They all contributed to the culture that has continued to develop over centuries. It still is diverse. There's more than 300 languages spoken in the city. And in 2016, London had a population of 8.8 million people, which is 13% of the population of the entire UK. And the human environment interaction, the River Thames, I decided to focus on specifically. It's so important to the city. The Thames is 215 miles long. It's been a major transportation and trade route since prehistoric times. The Romans built the first bridge over the Thames 2,000 years ago. And although it's been rebuilt many times, London Bridge is in the same location today. The Thames is what made London both famous and wealthy. It was a major trade route for fish, wool, tea, silk, spices, iron, and sugar. And the large amount of ships in the river would cause huge backups that lasted for days for all the people trying to get in there to trade. To control the flooding, the Thames flood barrier was built. So you can see down here, it's closed when the tidal surges are likely to cause flooding in England, or in London, excuse me. And they're opened up to let ships go through for trading. And the humans have also used the Thames inappropriately. For centuries, the people of London used it as a sewer for its many inhabitants, which led to outbreaks of deadly diseases like cholera. The smell was so bad that in 1858, Parliament was suspended during what they called the Great Stink. And that led the government to hire an engineer, Sir Joseph Bazalgette, to build London's first sewer system. And throughout history, the Thames was also used for fun events when it occasionally froze over. The first frost fairs were held during the Little Ice Age from 1550 to 1750, and then one more time again in 1814. They would put tents on the frozen river and have sideshows, food vendors, and ice bowling. And these are my references. Thank you all very much.